Should we wear the sunglasses? Ugh. Ugh. We streamed all night. When did we end? 3:30, something like that? 3 o'clock? I don't know when we ended. Nice, solid 12, 13-hour stream. We won $4,500. That's good. What actually happened last night? I was a good boy. I have a webinar today. It's going to be like a 3-hour-long webinar with my inner circle, so couldn't play too hard. But it was a fine day. We took third place? Fourth place? I don't even know. Third or fourth place in a $600 buy-in tournament for $14,000. Which is good. I think I was in for like, well, what happened? I mean, I made $4,500 on the day, whatever it came out to. That was pretty lucky, actually. I didn't really have a whole lot of chips at the final table. I did win a flip at the final table. But like I really didn't have anything going in that final table, so that was. I mean, it's good. You can take third, fourth, whatever it was. That was great. And it was really deep stacked. I had like 12 big blinds the whole time, and everybody else had 50, and they just kept busting each other. In the $1,000 tournament, I ran a giant triple barrel bluff with nut low, but also gut shot, straight draw, and flush draw. The opponent had top pair. Obviously made the call. The opponent then won the tournament. So that's fine. It's one of those spots where if I spike it on the river, he probably pays and I win all the money. If I miss it, well, I lose. What else did we have? We had a few other cashes. Nothing incredibly meaningful. Oh, we cashed in the other $600 tournament. We cashed in 2 $600 tournaments. Funny enough, get this. I told the person who sends out social media tweets for me sometimes to give away 5% of the 2 $600 buy-in tournaments, because I didn't know if they would have a $1,000 tournament. And he's promoted that he's going to give away 5% of the $1,000 tournament. I bluff off my chips with the nut low in the $1,000 tournament, and then I cash both $600 tournaments. What a bad beat for whoever won the 5%, huh? That was unfortunate. Talk about a bad beat, man. Bad beat. It was a good day. Won $4,500. That was you, LOL. Ooh, John, that's bad. That's a bad beat. We gave you more equity. To be fair, we had, I don't know, $4,000, $5,000 in equity. Tough. Oh my gosh. Trying to tilt you right off the bat. There was a fun hand where I said the opponent clearly has Jack 10 when he ran a bluff all in on the river. He did have Jack 10 for the bluff. That was fun. You said sit and goes are dead. You presumably mean at the higher levels. Yeah. The lower levels are still quite profitable. What do you think of 6 max ones? Are they too difficult, marginal? I mean, probably edges are just going to be... I mean, I don't know. Try it out and see. I'm not sitting there playing them all the time. Just try it out and see. Definitely the higher stakes games are close to unbeatable, and I'm always teaching people to learn games with a future. I do not want you to spend all your time learning a game that you can win at the most like $20 an hour from. I get it that $20 an hour is fine. I get it that they're actually good practice for multi-table tournaments towards the end. But, please don't think that you're only going to play sit and goes for your entire career. Someone starting off wants to become a GTO player. You're learning from Modern Poker Theory? Yeah, get Modern Poker Theory. How do you practice what you're learning? Get in there and play. Do it. You may want to get a program like Poker Snowy. I think you can go to jonathanlittlepoker.com/pokersnowy. There's some videos of me playing with it on YouTube. See if that's something that you may be interested in. What's my opinion on late registration? Look, I'm an old school poker player. I know I don't look it, but I've been around since the glory days of poker. And back then, you had to buy in on time, and you did not get to re-enter. If you weren't there on time, you don't get to play. How's that for fun? But they changed it. People wanted to be late. People wanted to buy in again. Blah, blah, blah. Now you can buy in a million times. It's all your Murloc army that you pivoted into the Dragons late. How did you know to do that? Did I pivot into Murlocs? Oh, I pivoted into Dragons late. The Murlocs weren't going anywhere. Okay, so normally, I already had 2 golden ones, right? And I didn't have any other triple potential, right? So I had 2 goldens, then like 3 singletons. Both goldens missed, the Murloc Pumper Beast Dragon thing. Or the dinosaur-looking character. So whenever you brick twice, and you don't have any triple potential, like obviously there, and they give you the good dragon, and I think I already had a dragon in my hand or something. Maybe there's one on the table, something like that. I think it made sense to pivot. In Battlegrounds, it's time to plant your flag and just refresh to death, trying to find what you want. You pivot badly. I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, right? But my Murlocs were not all that good either. Like they weren't particularly great. It's not like the one that pumps itself, the 1/2 one. It's not like that thing was humongous. I mean, it was fine, but it wasn't humongous. Basically, just wasn't all that good, and it wasn't going anywhere. And I was really relying on getting the triple dinosaur character. How am I? I'm great. Good afternoon from the UK. Can we get through an hour of little coffee without someone asking about dodgy American sites? Matt, why did you ruin it? Every time someone ruins it. I can't go through a session without someone asking about dodgy American sites. Where do we end up in that final tournament? I don't know. We lost. We had 2 tournaments towards the end. It was actually funny. We're on the bubble at the exact same time in them. We got two and a half buy-ins, I think, in the $600 game, and we got like $300 in the $88 game. So almost good, but not quite. Solid stream though. I was happy with it. I've really been trying to just play good laggy poker. EV Big Blind per 100 has been something like 7 since we started playing during the quarantine. We've played about 50,000 hands, which is, not infinite, but it's certainly some. And to see a solid win rate over 50,000 hands, I gotta be pretty happy. Because to be fair, I have not played a ton of online poker recently. And the only thing I've really played has been like progressive knockout tournaments where you're just like sacrificing EV Big Blind per 100 purposefully to try to get bounties, because that makes more money a lot of the time. So I didn't really know if we were definitively a winning player. Obviously, I think I am, right? But it's good to have just straight raw data. Straight raw data is really, 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 really good to have. And it also lets you try out stuff, right? Like I had an inkling that bluffing like crazy would probably be very good. Turns out it is. People fold way too much today. Nobody wants to pay off on the river. And good to see these things confirmed. Also lets you like practice, right? I talk to my friends, talk to the other poker coaching coaches about things to do, and I've seen improvements, right? Small blind play, I used to just limp every time. I knew that was profitable. Just limp very wide, but I've started raising every time from the small blind instead when they fold to me, and just makes a little bit more money. Your brother-in-law tells you your biggest problem with learning to play properly is that hardly anyone plays properly online. He's up 5 figures this year, but by late registration, playing super tight, and min cashing. Getting a handful of double ups. What do you say? Well, that's a good way to have a tiny win rate. You guys want to have a tiny win rate, or you want to have a big win rate? Also, what does properly mean? Doesn't properly mean taking advantage of whatever your opponents do wrong? Take advantage of what your opponents do wrong and you'll crush them. You'll grind them from 0 to 3,000. I would definitely recommend you start with $100 or something. Don't start with 0. It'll take you forever. You fear moving up in stakes and fear and met downswing in the higher stakes game. Please give you advice. Basically, don't worry about it. $3,000. Wait, I don't know how much money you have now. Do you have $3,000 at the moment? So if you have $3,000 at the moment and you're playing 20 NL, you have 150 buy-ins. That's a lot. I would tell you to move up. I mean, if you're winning at 20 NL, you're going to win at like 25 NL or whatever the next highest thing is. And also, you can just give a shot. Give yourself like a $500 shot at 50 NL, right? And if it goes well, great. And if it goes poorly, move back down and keep grinding. How did we end last night? We won $4,500. You passed out last night. Can I show you my power 9? Maybe. Yeah, Mark, I got these deep run hands. We'll review those probably Wednesday or something. I haven't looked at them. I don't like looking at them. I don't have time for that. I'll look at them on Wednesday when we review them. Question for you. Assuming you're adequately bankrolled for higher stakes, what big blind per 100 win rate should you be achieving before considering moving to higher stakes? It depends on how high you're already playing. If you're already playing quite high, even like 4 EV. Look, so you want EV big blind per 100, not big blind per 100, because EV big blind per 100 takes away the luck. Because you can just spike on a bunch of all-ins and be crushing it, right? Like, yeah, I have some sessions where EV big blind per 100 may be 8, but the actual big blind per 100 may be 25, or maybe negative 15, right? And you definitely want to look at EV big blind per 100 or all-in adjusted big blind per 100 or whatever they call it. But I don't know. Like if you have something like 8 or 9 or 10, like that's probably pretty good. A pretty good indication you should move up. As you get to the higher stakes, maybe that number should go down a little bit more. How many hands do we play? I don't know, 4,500, something like that. What's your heads up strategy? Raise a lot from the small blind. Bet a lot. If you're looking at your performance and Hold'em Manager, other than pure ROI, what is the best stat? All in adjusted big blind per 100. Let me get up Hold'em Manager. I will show you. Let's see. Good morning. Good morning from Finland. Hello, hello. You're playing on Club WPT trying to get better. Do you think it's a cheap way to get better? I mean, it is I guess it's a way to get better. I would recommend you generally play on real money sites. I think you're gonna have way better success with that. Personally. The reason I recommend that is because on sites that are effectively play money sites, and it is effectively a play money site, right? Inevitably what happens is you end up like playing against people who just really don't care, and that's not especially good for you. All right, let's see if I can figure out how to do this. We're going to add a source. All right. Okay, does that work? Here we are, since we started with the COVID. So this is the number you want. Guess I'll put it here. You want this thing. All in adjusted big blind per 100. That is really what you want. Okay? This number is going to tell you a lot about your skill level compared to your opponents. Anything, like, so if you're playing high stakes, like I'm playing high stakes, playing all the tables, anything like 5 or higher is probably pretty solid and certainly acceptable. This number here. Yeah, this number here. If you're in the smaller stakes games, I would say something like 7 means you're probably in roughly the right games for you. If you have something like 10 or higher, over, a decent sample, like we have 47,000 hands here. If I was looking at someone's stats and they were exactly this, I would tell them they're probably playing the games they should be playing, which for me is all the highest stakes games they have on the website, right? If your number, tell me your number. Get out your number. Tell me how many hands you have. Literally, tell me. Total hands, all in adjusted EV build per 100, and the stake you're playing. And I'll tell you what you should do. Type it in. You got me here. Might as well make good use of me. But yeah, if you're playing on Club WPT, I would instead tell you to just put like $50 on an unlicensed, unregulated site. Realize you're probably going to lose it whenever they steal it from you inevitably. And don't worry about it. You busted 18th last place and got $50 instead of $3,700. Well, understand that wasn't your $3,700. That was somebody else's. You'll get it next time. Or maybe you won't. That's okay. Can I move this down anymore? Doesn't look like I can. Well, whatever. All in adjusted VV big blind per 100 is what you want. Do you use ICM or spot? Yeah, definitely. Make sure you adjust the opponent's strategies, though. Make sure you, because your opponent's not going to play ICM aware, and if they fall off a little bit too wide, that should make you jam way, way, way tighter. Where you see all in adjusted EV big blind per 100. You all are killing me. You are absolutely killing me. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this. I'm certainly not a pro at this by any means. Oh, not the snipping tool, Jonathan. I don't need the snipping tool. My wife gives me the scissors I type in, I need the snipping tool. That's so funny. All right, so let's see. Take this. Okay, take this, get this. So I think what you need to do is you want to click right here. Oh, you can't even see it. Golly. Literally just don't quite get quite enough of the screen. Am I the worst at this stuff or what? I could be the literal worst. All right, here we go. You get Hold'em Manager. You take this, you do this. You click this button right here. Click Select Stats. And now type in, I don't know, 100. And here it comes right up. Oh, you can't see this. Why can't you see this? Gracious me. So anyway, okay, first things first. You click this button. You see it? You're going to have to click that. Now, this stats picker is going to come up, okay? With the stat picker and the search feature, which again is not displaying for some reason. Let's see. There you go. The stat feature, type in 100. And all-in adjusted difference, big blind per 100 comes up. Or wait, what? Maybe that won't actually come up. Well, come up. But you want this number, all-in adjusted big blind per 100. This one right here. This will be over here. So you don't want the difference. You want all-in adjusted big blind per 100. That'll come up. Okay? Okay. Just delete all this stuff. Don't need this nonsense up on the screen. All right. When you open 25 big blind stack on the button near the bottom of your range and the small blind 3-bets you, how do you proceed? Fold. Obviously fold. Unless it's like a good suited connector or something. But even then, you fold. You've been learning so much. Great. For 500 to 1,200 person tournaments, a $10 to $50 level is $5,000 a reasonable amount. Or 5,000 tournaments a reasonable amount of volume to determine true ROI. Look, you never know your true ROI, but something like that. So, Rain, I would tell you you're probably playing roughly the right games for you. I would tell you to study more. That's really always the answer. If you don't have something like 10-ish, 10 big blinds per 100, 10 all-in adjusted big blind per 100, and you're not playing the highest stakes already that you can, or that your bankroll will allow for the long foreseeable future, you probably just want to be spending a decent amount of time studying. If you move up, you're going to start experiencing way, way, way bigger streams. Does intuition or exploitative play or grinding, learning, mathematics in niche scenarios provide a better... I don't know what you're saying, John. Just play good poker. I just bluff a lot. Your all-in adjusted bill 100 and turbo 6 max is 6.75. Well, good. Well, but again, like, it's not very many hands. Play a lot more hands. You need to play a lot more hands. 20 left in a tournament. 10 get money. Cut off 40 big blinds opening wide. Raise at 2.5x. You shove 9s for 30. Nice hand. Should you 3-bet small? No. Definitely not. Micro stakes are worthwhile playing with proper bankrolls as a winning player, or should you grow your bankroll by other means and play low to medium stakes? Look, if you can get to where you're winning a decent amount at the micro stakes, you're probably better off like working your job and just making more money and putting money into the poker bankroll. If you're not winning at the micro stakes though, and it's clear like it's not just getting all raked away because the site rakes a lot, in that case, you need to be able to beat the micro stakes, or at least like do okay at them, right? If you can't beat those, you're not going to beat the higher stakes games. If you sign up for Poker Coaching Premium, do you get the courses with it for the year or permanently for the year? It's like Netflix. You cancel your Netflix account, you can't log into Netflix and watch all the shows they give you. My HUD shows only one line per stats. Does it combine all tournaments? Correct. Wait. HUD line only shows one line for your stats? I don't know, John. Sorry. Send an email to Hold'em Manager. They'll know a better answer than that. Mark, you have literally no hands. If you have literally no hands, this will not be useful for you. 5,000 is not a lot of hands. Like I said, like you want to have something like 25,000 minimum. I mean, I'll tell you all. 2 weeks ago, I played 5,000 hands. All-in adjusted DP big blind per 100 was -8. Okay? I think I played great. The next week after that, the time where I lost $8,000, it was 17. Okay? So I played exactly the same strategy. One 5,000 hand session, we were -10. Next 5,000 hand session, it was +15. What does that mean? Well, it means there's big swings in this, right? Sometimes you just get crapped on. You just get it in bad. You get the kings and they get the aces, and your all-in EV big blind per 100 goes into the dumpster, right? Just happens over and over, and it's okay. So Rain and the sit and goes 22% ROI. How many games? That's actually pretty good. They just grind those out, right? If you can make 22% ROI and sit and goes, you can move up very quickly. Just learn to play a lot of tables. What kind of ROI can you expect? That doesn't really correlate. The reason is because you made... Like, this doesn't really tell... All-in EV big blind per 100 doesn't tell you how you're playing in the later stages. What's the first chart to know backwards and forwards? Basic pre-flop charts? I don't know. Go to pokercoaching.com, look in the tool section. Take a look at those charts. Start with the 15 big blind ones, I suppose. Because a lot of people think you're supposed to use a push-fold chart, but if you do that, you're going to light your money on fire when you have 15 big blinds. Do you raise different out of position, like first or second? 2 with ace, king suited, and ace, queen suited versus in position. Out of position, you typically want to be raising bigger across the board. What do you think of drive HUD? I don't know what drive HUD is. What percent of your time should you be studying versus playing? Are you already crushing the games? If you're already crushing the games for a high win rate, your goal then is to just crush the games as hard as you can and move up as fast as you can and continue crushing those games as hard as you can. If, however, you are not crushing the games, almost all of your time should be spent studying. How'd the last 2 tournaments go? We lost and we lost. We got in the money in both, but we lost and we lost. Is GG better than Stars? GG doesn't let you use heads-up display. Stars does, which is actually a big deterrent for me. You see how I play poker if you're watching my streams. What happened? Oh, whenever I'm playing, I use a heads-up display, and I lean on it heavily. I know GG has a HUD, but it's not a good HUD. It's irrelevant. It just tells you one stat. Their HUD might as well be irrelevant. Tells you if they're running hot or cold, too. You wonder how hot they're running? Actually, it does tell you a few stats if you click in it. I know this, everyone. But again, I'm not going to sit here and have to click on the person every single time I want to see their stats. That's ridiculous. How do we end up in the 600? I think we cashed for like $1,500 or something. Streaming for poker coaching members is a bad idea. Keep it on YouTube. The thing is, you have to understand, what do I do that's very time-consuming and very high value? Those things should probably be for paying customers, whatever that is. What do I do that doesn't take a lot of time, that it provides value, but perhaps is slightly lesser value? And I think the answer is probably, well, for example, making clips out of the YouTube video. Like what a lot of people do. They stream it live, or then they make clips, or they play their sessions and they make clips. Thing is, this may not be true. Very easily cannot be true, so don't be offended if it's not true. The vast majority of people who really care about poker and are really working hard to study poker are willing to sit there and study it all day with me and play poker, play a whole poker stream. The casual viewer does not want to watch me 15 tabling for 13 hours. They might watch 5 or 10 minutes of it. So my job is to get the best 5 or 10 minutes and give them that. And then that's a preview of what you get in the stream. You understand, though, we have to make some money. Otherwise, we don't get to pay the bills. About 200 games. Yeah, play more games. Rain, play more games. Understand that your stats over a tiny sample are completely irrelevant. It's definitely going to go down below 22. I would have to presume that, but whatever. Also, a nice thing about streaming for poker coaching members is you get strategy questions instead of, this site's rigged, I want to go play roulette where I can win with my martingale strategy. Could this stat be misleading? Yeah, definitely. Definitely. If you have a high all-in EV being by per 100 and you're still losing over a long sample, again, this like even here, I'm in like 47,000 hands, not even big. I mean, to be fair, we're out money. But it's one of these spots where, yeah, it's not a perfect stat, but it's like a stat. Definitely for sit and go stuff like ROI is better, because in sit and goes you can just play a ton. Your inability to get in volume is a consistent struggle. You got to learn to play more tables, Mark. You got to learn to play more tables, Mark. What's the best medium deep stacked play? Triple barrel. You find yourself spewing off chips, and you always end up short. You're never with a large stack. You're probably too tight. Probably not spewing it off. That girl you mentioned yesterday, Nikki Mange. It's Nikki Manage. Gotcha. Okay, Nikki Manage. There's, I guess, an escort avatar. I think she must be a popular escort. She's bending over showing a rumpus. Mr. James walked in and said, "Hey, Daddy, who's that?" I said, "I don't know." So I messaged support. There's a support bot with a creepy man on America's Card Room. He didn't know who it was. But then I asked them on Twitter, and they said it's someone named Nikki. I thought it was Nikki Mange, like the disease dogs get, but it's actually Nikki Manage. How much time do you spend studying? So my whole life is devoted to either studying and or making content. So a lot. Live question. Does higher buy-in equate to making it easier to beat the rake? Yes, but you'll have a lower win rate. So the rake will be a lower percentage of your loss rate, but your win rate will be smaller. So like rake proportionally gets smaller, but win rates also get smaller. And typically though, the rake stays the same. Win rate goes lower, but the win rate is still like gigantic compared to the rake. What's the software you use when you're streaming? That's called Hold'em Manager. And if you want those exact stats, you can send me an email and I'll get it to you. Are we on any other stimulant besides meth and crack? No, we only do the coffee. I actually have tried these things. These are called Neuroments. I saw them on Shark Tank, so they must be good, right? Neuroments. I actually like them. I had 2 of these yesterday. They claim it has as much caffeine as 1 cup of coffee, which is good. I don't want to be sitting here drinking coffee all day. We have mushroom tea as well. From Four Sigmatic, we have coffee sachets from Purity Coffee. How hard is it to achieve 10% ROI? I don't know, man. In micro stakes, sit and goes and/or tournaments. Realize sit and goes and/or tournaments are very different things. Would you suggest winning 1-2 player take a shot at 5-10 if it's being played once a week with the same pool? And you have a $6,000 bankroll? Absolutely not. Like, you're barely bankrolled for 1-2. You need to play that 1-2 game a lot. A lot. Play the 1-2 a lot. Grind your bankroll up. And then once you get to, like, I don't know, 25K, consider taking, like, a $2,000 shot. We really like crushing tough cash games course. Anything similar coming out soon? I don't know. Send me an email. Ask for that kind of thing. The ACR pros, when they're streaming, say they can't reveal why they're doing this. Well, a lot of people don't know why they're doing what they're doing. They just mash buttons. There's a thing called a button clicker. That's what they do. They really just don't know what they're doing. Make it public for an hour, private for everyone the rest of the way. That starts to become a logistical nightmare. But, I don't know. We're going to consider and try a bunch of different things. What's stakes to play relative to the big blind? Read jonathanlittlepoker.com/bankroll. What was the final tally yesterday? Up $4,500. Does my site do hand reviews for tournaments? Yes. If you were to send me a particular tournament, is that something you offer? Jonathan Little offers that. Some of the coaches offer that kind of thing. Go to pokercoaching.com, click on the tools section, then click on private coaching. Nikki Minich. I mean, it must be just manage. Main? No, they told me it wasn't mange. What's the longest poker session you can think of? I don't know. How long do you think somebody can play? 286 hours? Something like that? As a mainly low live cash game grinder, is playing and studying a tournament wise? Listen, if you're a cash game grinder and you're making decent money from it, and you're progressing and you're getting better, why would you want to change that? Over 25,000 hands, yeah, big blind per 100 is 6. Again, even big blind per 100 is all I care about. Oh, adjusted is 9.7. Good. So, close to ready to step up in stakes if you have the bankroll. Yeah. Sure. If you're properly bankrolled for the higher stakes, sure. Dale would love Nicki Minaj music. Probably not. You see how much music I play during my stream. Do you think it's better to study a little bit, an hour or less every day, or just have long study days? Definitely a little bit every day is probably better, if I had to guess. You always felt you could realize your equity with hands like 9-7 suited, 25 big blinds. Your all-in EV big blind per 100 is 7 over all these hands. Maybe you'll get closer to 10 now. Good. I'm on the pills, indeed. Does anyone drink mushroom tea? Yes. Who's the best looking female pro? I don't think it's PC to talk about such things anymore. How long did it take to get your first big score, 50K plus, and did it catapult my career? I literally never had a cash for more than $1,000 until I was like 21 years old. Maybe 20. Because I played only sit and goes. I started with $50. I always kept 100 buy-ins at least. And I played sit and goes. So I was playing $200 sit and goes. The most you can win is $1,000. That was the maximum. I would win $1,000 100 times a day. Maybe not 100 times a day. Literally, well, I don't know, you win 1 in 10. I played, 100 a day. So you'd win 10 of them a day, 11 or 12, 13, 14 of them in a day. A lot of people think you have to spike and get a big score to change your life. It's just not true. Find a game you can beat and play it a ton. And ideally, it's a low variance game, like cash games, right? It's a good way to turn no money into a decent amount of money. Everybody thinks you have to get lucky. I never put myself in a spot where I had to get lucky. We just grinded out. We turned 50 into 350,000 by the time I was 21. Eventually, they had $500 sit and goes and $1,000 sit and goes, so we had $5,000 cashes. But again, it was all sit and goes. My first big score was I chopped the Sunday Million on PokerStars, but I was 21 then, and did it change my life? No, because I already had 350,000, and that added an extra 100 or something. If you only had $500 in your account, what would you do to build your bankroll? I personally, Jonathan Little, would play small stakes sit and goes. I'd probably, well, again, so like this asks like, what happens if you go broke, or do you are you killed if you go broke, or you just have to get a job, right? Like, what's the question here? So, this is never a good question, because you can do things to keep risk of ruin really tiny, or you can play much more aggressively. What would you recommend is the best thing to study for low stakes tournaments? The homework challenges, or the homework at poker coaching. Also go through the 30-day challenges if you have access to them. Push the like button. Yeah. How do you take your coffee? I drink the coffee and that's it. If I wanted sugar or milk, I would drink sugar and milk. How much better are suited combinations? They give you many more bluff opportunities, so much better. How many hands does it take to categorize a player accurately? 10? Menage? It can't be menage. No way. You guys are trolling me. Now you're just making fun of it. What happened to the wine last night? I didn't really have much. I have a webinar today with my students starting in 30 minutes. I should probably get prepared for that, huh? You've been struggling at 250, but winning at micro stakes sit and goes. Are the cash games actually harder, or is that due to variance? Probably due to rake. Rake is usually going to be quite high in those games. When's Amy going to be on next? I don't know. D Shark Attack. Nice name. Likes my YouTube content. Thank you. Is the 4th of July special still going on? Yes, you have less than a day left. That's why we're still promoting it. You can get poker coaching, big discount. Pokercoaching.com/July4. If you like what I do, you want to support me, support the other poker coaching coaches. We pay them loads of money, support my employees. We have a team that makes all this happen. Thanks to all of them. Without them, none of this would be here. Without all of you, none of this would be here. But if you want to sign up to poker coaching, you get a solid discount. Pokercoaching.com/July4. You have 9,000 hands in Hold'em Manager showing 0. Does that mean you suck? It means you're break even. Is break even bad? I mean, break even is actually kind of good, but 9,000 hands is not a whole lot. How do you get access to the inner circle? Send us an email, support@pokercoaching.com. We're kind of wrapping it or winding it down though. No risk of ruin on the $500 question. I'd play. I mean, if I if going broke is detrimentally bad, like I don't know, you kill my family or something if I lose, I would just play like the absolute tiniest stakes, right? There's like 1 cent, 2 cent cash games, and then grind it up slow, like super slow. It really all is a question. Like, imagine also how long do you have, right? It's just not a good question. Make a good question that gives me realistic parameters, what we're trying to accomplish, and I'll try to give you an answer. But the question of what would you do with $500 doesn't really matter, because that's not the spot anyone's in. People have parameters. So many pros are not the ones people heard of because they aren't glorious or flashy. Yeah, Jonathan Lowe was not flashy as a young person. He just sat and played sit and goes all day. How are you able to crush sit and goes, and why do you no longer crush them? Because everybody got good. Sit and goes are easy. Sit and goes are one of the easiest forms of poker because you play very shallow stacked. So everyone got good at it. I made a mistake. I made a training site back in the day called Sit and Go Icons. Talk about an ego trip, huh? Me and a few other people who were very good at sit and goes made a training site where we taught people sit and goes. And turns out that was a bad idea, because then sit and goes died 2 or 3 years later because people realized, oh my god, these games are easy and they're a gold mine. Also, what happened is Party Poker closed to Americans. All the good players from Party Poker went to PokerStars, and all the bad players from Party Poker quit. At least most of them did. So the reg pool got 2x's, like 2 regs to 1 fish now instead of whatever, like call it 1 to 1, whatever it was. So now there's twice as many regs, and I'm pretty sure I could achieve 0% ROI, which is what you break even with the rake. It's what basically the best sit and go players nowadays do, and they hope to get rake back. I don't want to sit there and play for rake back. It's just an easy game, is what it amounts to. If you play an easy game, you shouldn't expect to have a win rate. Same thing with satellites, right? High stakes satellites can't make much money because everyone's good. It's just not a hard game. How do you mentally stay focused? Realize you're doing this for a living. Someone's posting me Texas Elahino status. We're not watching Texas Elahino. Looks like that's last year's model. I'm just going to read it as I say it. Nikki Manage. It's Menage. Menage. Will there be a replay of the class I'm doing today? For the Inner Circle members, yes. You found it very difficult to bluff. They seem to call regardless. Well, you're probably not bluffing properly because I have good stats that show people fold too much, especially to triple barrels. You're probably not tripling, but triple barreling enough. Are you playing the World Series of Poker? I can. Am I? I don't know. Definitely not going to play the New Jersey one. It's just not worth it to go an hour and a half away to play a random $1,000 tournament for me. I'm not going to pick up and travel to do it, that's for sure. It's just not worth it. Like, what are you going to make? You're going to make $400 on the day or something? $1,000 on the day? I'd rather sit here and just make content for all of you. I may find a way to do the GG one, though, because those are actually big buy-ins. It's important to understand we're trying to play poker to make substantial money. If I'm going to get up and leave my family, we better be making substantial money from it. How do you suggest to learn to bluff well? Bet small on the flop, bet big on the turn, bet big on the river. I'm telling you, everyone thinks people fold too much. But Nate, understand. I mean, you saw what I do, right? I'm telling you, those bluffs are better at the smaller stakes. All these triple barrels we're doing, they're printing money in the high stakes. They are legitimately printing. You see me. We're raising a lot, we're 3-betting a lot, we're triple barreling a lot. And we're printing money. We would be printing more money at the smaller stakes because people play even worse at the smaller stakes in a folding manner. They'll call your flop bet a lot. They'll call your turn bet a pretty good amount, and they'll almost never call your river bet. You still own the condos in Vegas? No, I sold it. Best way to earn $200 a day with a limited bankroll. Well, how limited are we? What's your favorite hero in Valorant? I don't even know what Valorant is. 1-2 online, same skill as 10-20 live? Probably. Would you make a sit and go course? I had the sit and go series. Maybe it still exists. sngseries.com. See if that's still there. I did that back in the day. $500 bankroll currently. It's not the end of the world if you lose, but it would put you off to poker, so you don't want to lose. You want to double it every 3 months. You have to make $1 a day. How do you make $1 a day? Hey, make $1 a day. Just do what you're doing. Play. Look, I mean, $1 a day is like nothing, right? $1 a day is literally nothing. Oh, wait. No, is it $10 a day? I can't do math. $10 a day. Okay, $10 a day is a real number. Just grind sitting those like you're doing. Play more of them. When watching opponents' tells, what do you focus on most? Things that are out of the ordinary. Things that look kind of funny. Things that stand out. Things that don't happen all that often. When you started playing poker, when on that timeline did you start thinking about equity range's position? As soon as I started reading anything about poker, so a week into playing. What HUD would I recommend? Hold a manager. 3. You're playing the World Series, and the field is reasonably good, but still very tight. Do you think the tight play may warrant putting in more bluffs? Yeah. More triples. It turns out, if they don't have a heads-up display, triples are really good. What's the best time for it? All the time. There's only one buy-in, 3,200. You can stay over at your house to play it. Is there a learning curve with Equilab? Not really. Equilab's pretty easy. Just like go to YouTube. You'll look at a tutorial on YouTube. If you win the $11 tournament, can you be a guest on the show? Probably not. We don't do guests on this show. Do you prefer cash or tournaments? I like mixing it up. Do you have any courses specifically on Heads Up? I don't know. Check out the classes tab in Poker Coaching. See what's there. It's secrets, your next project, your book project. Yeah. Can you ask if your book mentioned in the World Poker Tour interview is still relevant? I don't even know which book that would be, but probably. Turns out I've written pretty timeless stuff. A lot of people write just nonsense on specifically how to beat the game today, or they just tell you what they do. But I'm telling you fundamentally sound strategies and then how to adjust them for whatever you encounter. That's basically what I've always done. Is 2-4-8 the same as 4-8? No, because there's an additional blind. Want to earn a decent amount of money each day with low variance? Get a job. Mark has it right. You want to earn $10 a day? Go get a job. These questions, how to make X dollars per day, are silly. No, you're right. You're right. You're never going to make X dollars per day. You're going to make, you have swings. You're big swings. You're losing small stakes 9 max player. You've played 261 tournaments, which is not enough. Not a lot. Your average buy-in's minus 34%. Could be well within variance. Looks like you're cashing a lot, though, which is, well, cashing slightly, cashing okay. All in EV 100 is 8. Bankroll's not an issue. You have plenty of time. Your goal is to become a winning player. Realistically, that you just haven't played enough tournaments. You already have good enough stats, I would say. There's a chance you're playing like too tight near the bubble, maybe. Would you drop down in stakes? And I would tell you just keep doing what you're doing, honestly. So minus 34% means you're losing $3 per game. So you're down $750. 75 buy-ins, 60 buy-ins. 60 buy-ins, nothing. Hate to break it to you, 60 buy-ins, nothing. If you watch my stream, I think at our peak so far since quarantine, we're up like 25K, and we went back down to 0 with like, I don't know, $200 average buy-in or something. Like, it happens. I think you're probably actually just doing right. I mean, if you feel like moving down, feel free, but you're probably playing okay in the games that you're playing in. Go through the homework challenges, or the homework. Go through the poker coaching homework, start at the bottom, work your way forward. When you say triples, what does that mean? That's when you bet the flop and bet the turn and bet the river. It's like magic. It just always works. It doesn't work there all the time, but it works a lot. Should you become a full-time tournament pro instead of cash game players? You should do whatever makes logical sense. How do online tournaments add a live cash game player skill? Listen, focus on one thing. Get good at one thing. Please get good at one thing. What are we doing with the tournament course? I don't know, everyone. These things take time. How am I doing? I'm doing great. How do you face a downturn? Every time you're all in, you lose. Well, got to play more. Did you all start earning $100 a day from day one? Get real. Indeed. You don't earn $100 per day. You earn a little bit per day. I used to play Limit Hold'em, right? Just play Limit Hold'em. I wouldn't do that today. But look, it's just purely a math game. All of these questions, how do you make money from poker? Rain already has decent stats, right? 200-something games. Not a ton. It's like some, though. And you make, what did you say your ROI was? 20%? So pretend like it's 5%, right? What's 5% of that? 15 cents? You make 15 cents per game? You need to make $10 per day. Play 80 games. Play 80 games, make 15 cents per game. There you go. Right? That's $10, I think. Something like that. And that's presuming your ROI is way less than it actually is currently. Because I think you're probably on a here. Because 22 is a lot. That said, if the games are soft and you make, 60 cents a game? You'll just get rich quick. Right? You're tighter than chickens behind on the bubble. Well, sometimes you should be, sometimes you shouldn't be. Short stacked at final tables. Check out the stuff at Poker Coaching. I am sure some of the coaches have made content on that. When should you transition from higher or go to start playing more? That's a tough question. It depends on your exact scenario. For the most part, I would tell you that most people need to be studying more. What's the difference between ROI and adjusted ROI? I don't know. If someone bets pot when you're in position with top pair good kicker, what criteria in your decision making are you sacrificing online? If I have top pair good kicker, I'm not folding ever. Have you all seen me play? I don't fold, and I bluff every time. You want to know the secret to poker? Don't fold and bluff every time. Don't fold good hands, okay? Top pair is a good hand. Fold middle pair sometimes. I mean, you saw me making king high calls yesterday. Those didn't work out. I think literally all of my hero calls yesterday failed. Is Table Ninja worth it? I think it only works on stars. There's one called, what's it called? Stack and Tile. You may want to look at Stack and Tile. That works for various programs. But I couldn't get it to work for ACR. I mean, the guy even offered to fix it for me and I just didn't want to deal with it. I like the way I do things. Is the intent to have the exact cards and ranges memorized? No. Poker Poaching Premium has certainly helped your game a lot. I'm glad to hear it. It's a better way to get better at multi-tabling other than to just do it. Understand you're not going to sit there and sweat out the action. A lot of people want to sit there and sweat out the action. They really, really, really want to sit there and sweat it and see what happens. You're not going to see what happens a lot of the time. It's okay. I mean, you watched me streaming yesterday on the $600 game where we took 3rd or 4th place or whatever it was. Like, I didn't even know when people busted. I just looked and I saw the money icon flashing me that we got another $1,000. Ship the dough, right? And you just don't get to see what happens. But once you get good, you don't really need to see what happens. That's the neat thing. From studying, you know that your plays are profitable. You know it's making money. You know your triple barrels are printing. And you don't have to see. Even if you get called and you lose, I don't know. It's fine, right? I know I'm profiting. And that takes a lot of data, and it takes... Confidence is not necessarily the right word, because you don't want to have, unnecessary confidence or unjustified confidence, but you have to just have faith in the process is what it amounts to. Do you multi-table online to get in volume? Could you be profitable playing 4 or less? You'd be more profitable playing fewer tables. When you play more tables, you make more money per table that you play. But you don't get through volume, right? So whenever you play more games, your ROI on all the other games goes down some. The question is how much. I think it doesn't go down all that much for me, but I think it does go down a lot for most people. And to be fair, if I start playing 35 tables, my ROI would go into the dumpster because it'd be timing out all the time. So there's some point where your ROI diminishes to the point that you should not be adding more tables. And to be fair, I probably don't do it exactly right. Yesterday, I loaded up every tournament $30 and higher, right? I probably don't need to be playing random $30 tournaments. Those are going to add, an extra $10 per table to my win rate or something if I'm doing fine. So if we add an extra $10 or $20 to my win rate, does that take away 1% from the $1,000 tournament and the $600 tournament? It probably does. But I want to have good volume, I want to make deep runs, etc., etc. I'm not streaming only for me. But yeah, you'll make more money as you play fewer tables. It just takes forever to get through it. And I'm capable of playing that. You want to have multiple monitors? I actually don't like playing on multiple monitors. I used to do this. I used to have giant setup. And I would be looking over here, and then I would just not even see this thing that's happening over here. I get kind of tunnel vision when I'm playing. I want all of the tables literally right here in front of my face. You manage to play 2 tables at a time, but not 4. Any advice? Well, play 3. Also, go down to the smaller stakes. Tiny, tiny stakes, and try it over and over and over again. Just get experience, get practice, play tiny stakes. You play on sites that don't allow for HUDs. Take notes. Yeah, take notes. Take a lot of notes. Again, if you're playing 20 tables, you can't take notes though, right? Studying for the past couple months on Poker Coaching Premium, 25 adjusted big blind over 600 tournaments. Won 5 tournaments, $1.26 per hour, 1,100 bankroll, playing 1 to 11s. I would tell you to play smaller field tournaments and play $11 games, and maybe even $20. Play maybe even $20 games. 600 tournaments is some. It's not nothing, but it's also not a gigantic sample, so maybe you're still running a bit hot, but you're definitely adequately skilled to beat $11 games if I had to guess. And you have 100 buy-ins there. So I would tell you maybe... You definitely want to keep... If you're going to be moving up, you want to be playing smaller fields because that's going to keep variance lower, which is ideal when you don't have a big bankroll yet. I would tell you to ditch the $1 games. Just forget those. Ditch the $2 games. You should be playing 5s to 15s for the most part. That's what I would do. Try to keep field size small. All right, I have to go now. What's better, charts and quizzes or experience? Charts and quizzes. Because your experience is very, 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 very limited. So many people think that their exact experience is most important, but it's not. The experience of many, many other people, condensed down to exactly what you need, is going to allow you to jump over just what you see. Collaborating with others is highly valuable. And whenever you collaborate with others and work with others, like we do at poker coaching, right? We have all these coaches giving all their opinions and thoughts. That is going to make you so much better, so much faster than just trying to do it yourself. Can I answer your question? What was your question? Type it in one more time, Muggy, but I gotta go. If you cascade your table's ACR, does the table pop up when it's on you? It does. If it's on you multiple tables, does the second one pop up over the second one? No, it always waits until you're done with the first one. How do you email me? Support at pokercoaching.com. Good run yesterday. I'm glad you had it. In theory, if you had to continuation bet 70% on a paired in theory, you would have to continuation bet 70% on a paired board. How do you value the 30% checking line where people might be making mistakes? I don't even know what you're saying, Muggy. You're supposed to actually check it back on a lot of low paired boards because you lack the nut advantage as the pre-flop raiser. But just bet a lot. I have to go. I have a webinar soon. You had coaching with James Romero last week. It was refreshing. He coaches differently than most you've had in the past. James is a genius coach. You want a good coach? Get James Romero. You will be crushing it soon. He's one of the absolute best poker players in the world, in my opinion. Top 10 in the world. Poker coaching coach. We hired him for all of you. Actually, I hired him for me. The nice thing about having a poker training site is I get to hire the people who I want to teach me. And then I get to learn everything from them and share it with all of you. So, you want to know what Jonathan studies? Check out all the new high-stakes coaches we've added over the last few months. Those were selfish hires for me. All right, have a great day. Check it out, pokercoaching.com/July 4 for a big discount. I'll be back here Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll be reviewing some hands from one of you. Mark sent in some deep run hands. We'll be reviewing his hands. We'll see how it goes. Again, click like, click subscribe. Thanks for being here. I'll talk to you next time.